In the wee hours of the night yesterday, Donald Trump went on the worst ballroom tirade that we have ever seen from him. It was about a 3,000-word essay that Donald Trump posted on Truth Social, completely melting down because he will not get to fulfill his passion project. All that matters to Donald Trump, with service members stranded at sea, prices skyrocketing, and everything going to shit, is his ballroom. And he is threatening people and their lives over it in a complete meltdown that we are going to get into, and we are also going to relentlessly mock. Because Donald Trump's ballroom and all of the corruption in this administration, and of course the Around the Ballroom, deserves to be mocked. And if you want to support our channel in doing that, make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already. Now let's get into this insane meltdown that Trump had paused by, of course, his ballroom getting blocked last week. And that's where we got to begin with the context for the crazy post we're going to get to.
America's disastrous war in the Middle East is now in its 6th month. Its economy is in a tailspin, and Donald Trump is in a rage because his ballroom has been put on hold. Remember, this is what Donald Trump wanted and promised: a 90,000 square foot white and gold behemoth that would dwarf the actual White House. It would be the biggest thing on that plot of land by far. This is what Donald Trump has given you: a gaping hole in the heart of the country. He posted this photo this week. Look at that. He's proud of that. He is proud of demolishing the East Wing without asking any of our permission or Congress, to build a Trump monstrosity, to build a ego palace for himself. But today, a federal appeals court ruled 2-1. No, buddy, that actually he is supposed to ask permission. Because, and this really cannot be stressed enough, it is not his house or his land, it is ours. And so the appeals court majority put on hold what has to be the single biggest renovation ever undertaken by a renter in all of human history. In its lengthy ruling, the court majority wrote, "The president has no and claims no constitutionally assigned authority over that property. Whether or not a massive ballroom should be constructed is for Congress to decide and is not a matter for executive self-help." Whew. That ruling appears to have affected Trump deeply. He is in his feelings about it on the internet. That's based on the nearly 500-word rant he posted on social media. Quote, "The military and Secret Service are viewing this horrendous, politically motivated, and unlawful ruling as a national security threat to our nation, in that the entire complex is being built for the protection of our country and additionally all future presidents. It is all tied together as one big, expensive, and very complex unit, which is vital for national security and military operations of the United States of America. This unjust decision must be overturned by the Supreme Court in its entirety." I didn't read the whole thing, just so you know. Notice as soon as they strike it down, it's like the national security military complex and not the ballroom. Like, it was the ballroom. He called it the ballroom. He talked about how there had to be a ballroom. That was the original, the project. Now it's like the military complex. So forget about Iran, where we are still at war. There's still no deal. Forget about the price of gas, which is still above $4 a gallon, has been for months. If you want to know what the president of the United States spends all of his time thinking about as president, it's clear as day. This is it. I mean, it's obvious if you watch him, but do not take my word for it. Here is the reporter who may know Trump better than any others, Maggie Haberman of the New York Times.
How much of his time actually goes into the renovation now?
A lot. If you looked at like a chart of his mind share, like this, I will say about getting into his mind, like 70% of it would be on his renovations. It's a legacy thing, but it's, I always think of legacy with him different than the way we usually use the word legacy. It's not what am I leaving behind for the world? It's what am I leaving behind so the world can't kick me off the world.
All right, so, that all seems pretty boilerplate, right? Trump is not following the Congress. He doesn't have the funds appropriated. You can't just demolish the White House and erect whatever you want. Not allowed. Okay, check. Gotta pause it. Gotta stop. Oh, no. He's not gonna take that. No, he's not okay. He's just gonna keep going forward. And he's gonna melt down, and he's gonna lose it. And he doesn't like to follow the law. And he doesn't like to be told. No, I think we all know this very well. And so now Donald Trump is going to melt down again. And why? Because the man is thinking about his death. I want you to know that. I want you to know that the reason that Trump is so specifically upset is that not only does he feel the presidency slipping away, but his literal life, which he feels is connected to the presidency. He wants this thing done or being built by the midterms. He thinks that'll make it more difficult for them to fully stop him, which is now why he is threatening people's lives over the ballroom. Donald Trump says treasonous. Treasonous. That's what you are if you oppose the ballroom. Trump rails against group that sued to stop his ballroom. Donald Trump fired off an unhinged Truth Social post late Friday night, accusing a nonprofit organization of treason, and we all know what happens if you commit treason. Donald Trump has made this clear that the people he views as traitors should have their lives taken from them. So, this is just a death threat from Donald Trump. Yeah, he sees them as treasonous and should be put to death, because it sued to stop the construction of a White House ballroom. Last week, a federal court sided with the National Trust for Historic Preservation, which sued the Trump administration over the construction. The court ordered that Trump had to halt the project because it has not been approved by Congress. The trust is a privately funded nonprofit that says it has led the movement to save America's historic places for more than 75 years. Save our historic places. That to me almost sounds conservative, like they want to conserve, and that any conservative who claims that title may want to support the effort. Oh, they don't know it's because they're in a cult. Construction of the ballroom began last year on the site where the East Wing stood until Donald Trump demolished it. In his incredibly long post, we are only going to read so much of it. The president referred to the nonprofit as treasonists and somehow insisted that the organization revealed military secrets. Trump reiterated his claim that the ballroom is absolutely vital for our national security. Donald Trump in a post that I really just can't read all of because it's so wildly unhinged, but I need you to know it's like 19,000 words long, said that these people, this organization, the National Trust for Historic Preservation, that they are treasonous and that they brought a suit against the military complex. That's not the nature of this. Trump said that they revealed military secrets. He ranted, he raved, he lost his mind. Donald Trump is just furious over the ballroom. Let's read a little bit of this. There is absolutely no argument that a woman walking her dog in the vicinity of the White House is standing to stop such a desperately needed national security structure. Donald Trump continues to go back to that anecdote, because he's losing his mind. Donald Trump is just furious. He's talking about the dog walking. He's talking about the top-secret military features of the building that they absolutely need. Donald Trump didn't necessarily mention the hospital that he wants to put in it, because he's afraid of dying. But, yeah, he's lost it. Trump has taken a personal interest in several construction and renovation projects, of course, in Washington, D.C., including the ballroom. Last year, he clashed with the architect of the size of the structure, James McCurry. The second expressed concern to Trump that the 90,000-square-foot structure would dwarf the White House, which is 55,000 square feet. In December, Trump then fired him. The president has claimed that no taxpayer money would be spent on the ballroom, although that's a lie whose estimated cost have gradually increased because it would be funded entirely via private donations. However, the project, which now carries a $600 million price tag, most of which is being footed by taxpayers, according to invoices viewed by the Washington Post, yet seems to be costing us the taxpayer money. So the President of the United States is now dishing out death threats over the ballroom that is the focus, because Donald Trump wants a bunker for him and his rich friends who are paying for this. And by the way, they're not paying for it. They are returning some of the scraps to the government. You know, like it. This would be like if someone stole your lunch and then gave you like a little piece of bread, or like the edge of an Oreo, and said, "Hey, I got you some food." Like, if you are Jeff Bezos, or if you're Elon Musk, and you get these massive handouts from the government, and then you go, "Well, you know, I want to do my duty as a civilian, and I'm going to donate $1 million to the ballroom." It's like, you're telling us to go fuck ourselves. How much money do these people get from the ballroom, $55 billion in government contracts, to the nice private donors of the ballroom? They're returning scraps of our money and calling it charity. I'm tired of it, right? It's gross. And now if you oppose that, if you oppose this ridiculousness, you get called a communist. And Donald Trump tries to threaten your life, because he's trying to make this that serious, that someone's gonna die, that someone in this historical society, this preservation society, is going to be threatened. That's what Donald Trump wants, so he can get his ballroom built. He wants to threaten them in their lives out of talking about the ballroom. It's crazy, it's disgusting, it's wild, and it's all corruption. It's always corruption, just like oh my God, the early Truth Social post for $1 million a year, $1 million too. Jamie Raskin talked about it with Anderson Cooper. I just think all these corruption stories need to be covered together, so it's where I want to close.
I mean, it's hard to see if it's anything but.
I agree 1,000% with Joe Rogan. It's a smash and grab, get rich quick scheme, and they're turning the White House into one large insider trading conspiracy. And I think it does violate the 2012 Stock Act, which prohibits either members of Congress or the president from using non-public information for purposes of financial gain, either to execute stock trade, which is his basic plan. He buys the stock and then he goes on TV 45 minutes later or the next day and pumps up the stock. That in itself is illegal. And then it's illegal again to gain financially through a tip-off by saying, I'm going to be executing this insider trading scheme. Do you want to get in on it by paying me $100,000 a month? So, there are both criminal and civil sanctions available for violations of this Stock Act. Obviously, nobody in the president's office has ever come anywhere near doing something like this. And I'm glad that Mr. Rogan is blowing the whistle, like so many other people who are saying, how can this be in 2026?
So what, we know there's 10, according to the statement, there's 10 companies that have signed contracts for this. I assume there could be more down the road. We mentioned you're investigating this as ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee. You wrote a letter to the CEO of Trump Media. Have you gotten any response?
No response yet. 10 is obviously a very early and conservative estimate. We've also heard that 20, but say it's just 10, that's $1 million a month that they're pulling in. If it's 20, that's $2 million a month. And the president owns almost half of the company that's getting that money. That's going directly into the president's pocket. So it's a direct conflict of interest. And we have great reason to believe that this is a violation of the Stock Act of 2012, which was designed in order to stop the president and other public officials from using their government office.
The most corrupt administration in history, that is Donald Trump. It is gross. And we are going to continue to call it all out on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.